Just a little red dot swimming in a sea of stars. Got the whole damn verse spinning around you with open arms. It's a race against time that plunges you deep into the black. What are you gonna do when the void stares back? You'll never stop the revolution. Time to begin your evolution. Take a leap of faith. You gotta break the illusion. You gotta make your own solution. Take a leap of faith. The future's just a void, jump away.
Greetings, one and all. And welcome once more to Channel Other Doc. I am Jim, I use he, him pronouns, and this is our Dark Matter campaign, Ghosts of Saltmaw. I am playing Cole Hayden, a human gunslinger, who also has he, him pronouns. Let us go around and say hi to everyone, and see who we are and who we're playing. I, for one, am terrified, as there's a lot about to happen. Let us start with Anino. Hello.
How's it going, everyone? My name's Anino. I use he, him pronouns, as does my character, Rakmara, the Aviara druid, and probably the one person who can keep Cole Hayden alive.
This is true. Sadly, this is true. And now let us head over to Cazimi. Hello.
Hi, I'm Cazimi. I use she, her pronouns, and today I'm playing Clangswell Nunu Fritz, Holds Bottom Thunderstruck, the space gnome, who uses they, them pronouns and is probably going to use every single one of them today. Hope they survive.
And now over to May. Hello.
Hi everybody, my name is May. I play Lasnish Chain Tower, the Star Dwarf Paladin. We both use she, her pronouns, and honestly, as each day goes by, her chance of probably getting through this has dropped in my mind, percent by percent.
It's going to be great. It's going to be fabulous. And now let us head over. And now over to Mem. Hello.
Hello. I'm Mem. Don't laugh at me. Oh no. I'm Mem. I use she, her pronouns, as does my character, Narita Galeen, the Nautilid Witch, and I'm giving us a 50-50 shot at getting out of here. It may drop a little bit mid-game, we'll see.
We'll have to see. No. It'll be fine. Everything will be just fine. And now whilst my brain cowers in the corner in abject terror, let's turn things over to our station master, Alyssa. Hello.
Hello. Welcome back. My name is Alyssa. My pronouns are she, her, and I play Ivo Varas, the Brain Stealer Dragon, and the final boss of this dungeon. As with most games on this channel, we'll be using safety tools such as the X card, the N card, and the O card. So if at any point we cross into territory that is not okay, they can type an X in the Zoom chat, make an X symbol, we stop, rewind, add a dash of retcon, and it never happened. If we're kind of towing the line and it's okay to have the subject in the game, but we don't want a graphic description, that's where the N comes into play. We'll pan to the fake fireplace, fade to black, and move on. And if you're just getting it really into the dramatic role play, and it's okay to keep pouring on the drama, feel free to type an O in the chat. If you want to check in with anybody and make sure you haven't gone too far, you can type an O with a question mark, and we'll all respond as needed and go from there. Now, with that out of the way, previously on Ghosts of Saltmaw, after the party was taunted by the illusion of a former comrade, Cole and Lee were even more determined to find the mysterious psionic creature responsible. Dr. Rue administered a sleep spell to the Sahuagin priestess in hopes of preventing her from causing further injury to herself, and snarky shark boy Mako, strangely silent for a change, stayed behind to make sure nothing would attack the party from behind as they made their way deeper into the monster's lair. At the end of the corridor, they discovered a large cavernous room, at the center of which stood a broken collector vat with tentacled arms, needle-tipped vials, and mechanical forceps. As they approached the vat, they were attacked by 4 floating brains in jars, which lashed out at the party with phantasmal psychic screams, injuring several of the freelancers before finally being put out of their misery. Inside the vat, which was still partially filled with acid, Fritz found a tactical vest with a Lexay Garrison insignia, the sight of which further fueled Cole's growing rage. That was only the beginning of the horrors that awaited our intrepid spacers as they stepped through an archway to the left and into a trophy hall containing relics from the Brain Wars, a fabled clash between the Illithid and the Roth, 2 psionic superpowers that once terrorized early spacefarers before they were supposedly driven out to the edges of the galactic frontier. Backtracking to sweep the room on the opposite side of the collection chamber, they found a narrow walkway spanning a pool of acidic liquid. As Narita crouched to examine the foul fluid, a humanoid figure with long, silvery hair, deep purple skin, and the handsome, albeit borrowed face of the late Chaplain Remiel Jones rose from the pool, scoffing at Cole's intimidation tactics and blasting the party with bursts of psionic energy that nearly incapacitated several party members. Fortunately, Rekmara was able to provide healing while Dr. Wu unleashed a guiding bolt on the aberrant abbot, creating an aura of crackling blue energy that burned through the monster's polymorphed form like an electrical fire. As the magic fell away, its body shifted and swelled into that of a mutant dragon, with smooth skin, underdeveloped wings, and long, grasping tentacles around its hungry maw. We rejoined the combat in media res, with Lee and Fritz about to take action. And, because this may be the final battle, everyone starts with an inspiration die from your station master, which you may spend to roll with advantage at a pivotal moment of your choosing.
Thank you, kind station master.
Yay!
Appreciated.
So, Lee is going to go ahead and fire off her blaster, but apparently she's a little rattled because none of the 3 bolts hit the creature. And that brings us to Fritz's turn. Wait. At the end of Lee's turn, the dragon is going to use its legendary action. And it is going to make a tail attack. Amelie. $18 on the die, plus 11 is going to hit. So she will take 2d8 plus 6 bludgeoning damage. Total of 10. That will bring us to Fritz's turn. For real this time.
Not that it makes a huge amount of difference here. I want everyone to remember Fritz is a craftsman. No part of the name craftsman implies a damage dealer of any sort. But Fritz is going to use their repeater, dialed up to lightning damage as a guess. And yeah, we're just going to do it. 2 attacks available, so
Okay.
give it a shot. First attack, 18 plus 4, 22.
Hits.
Okay, don't laugh at the amount of damage, guys. I know it's ridiculously low. Ooh, 12 on 2d6.
Great job.
Good.
Think.
And it does take all of the lightning damage.
Okay, good. Do the same thing again. Fritz is going to be exceptionally proud of themselves on having actually done damage to this dragon with their choice of weapon. Will say something probably too cocky and inconsequential. Die you something, fill in the blank. Fire again. At 14.
Okay, 14 misses.
Also probably set Fritz up to be the next target, so.
All right. So that brings us to the top of round 2. Cole, you're up.
Okay. Just sort of glancing back and seeing what just happened to this thing. That this thing just hit Lee. I just do a quick glance to make sure that she's looking okay. And then if she is looking okay, then I will go ahead and
Yeah. She got the wind knocked out of her a little bit, took a few dings to the armor, but she's had worse.
Yeah, no, I am fully confident in Lee's abilities. I just want we've never fought this thing, and so I'm going to just basically pulls back a little bit towards further closer to the door that I think we came through. Just quickly go down by the railing, fire over the railing at him, her, they, the dragon, and this shall be the first shot.
I believe the proper term for a dragon is "oh shit."
I mean, that's the collective noun, I think. Actually, it's an oh shit of brain dragons. But that is going to be a total of 24.
24 hits.
Awesome. So the first shot with Vantha is going to just be standard damage, which is going to be 3 whole damage. And then we're going to take a second shot. which we hope is better, and probably dag nabbit. And that's actually only going to be a 16.
16 misses.
Okay. So not much there. And let's see, is that it? Yeah, that'll be okay.
All right. Is that it for your turn?
Yeah, I was trying... Actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to spend one of my risk dice. I can't remember where I am with my risk dice right now, unfortunately. Or if I've spent any today. I should probably have gone back and checked that, but for some reason it's not listed. I don't have it written down because...
The final
I don't
boss.
recall you saying it.
But I only rarely use them. But anyway, I know I had at least a few left. And so I'm going to... go ahead and spend one of those on for my bonus action to invoke the something I have not used before, which is Bite the Bullet, to get some temporary hit points added on to what I have right now. I was sort of just hunkering down there. And that, I'm only rolling 2, so that's it's going to be 2 plus my Constitution bonus, an additional hit point. It's not many. But you know, anything we can use to help. So that's going to be an additional 4 hit points temporarily that I can just add on here to try to die slightly more slowly. There we go. Okay, that's done.
Okay. After you take your shots, you all hear a loud sort of humming static. You kind of feel the static in the air around you as the psionic field in the dragon's lair flares loudly. And you are all going to roll a intelligence technology check.
Check.
Yes.
Okay, let's save.
Is it like a combination or an average or just the highest?
Each person is gonna have to roll one because basically it's like you're all being affected by a logic bomb spell. So anyone who's carrying or using technology is going to have to make a check to make sure their gear is working properly. Those of you who have had your gear modified by Fritz and Fritz themselves can roll with advantage.
And when I was asking is it on int or tech? Although I guess it technically doesn't make a difference for Fritz because
intelligence, it's technology.
Okay.
But if you're not like proficient in technology, it'll just be a flat intelligence roll.
I got a 15.
Got a 20.
You know, I got an 11, but I think I'm going to go ahead and spend the inspiration to reroll that, probably. Although I don't know if this is dramatically appropriate.
Yeah, how many of those inspirations can I spend?
I think we only have one at a time, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I can use the others later, right?
So the number you need to pass is 16.
Oh.
Yeah, we definitely didn't
Nope.
pass that. I too had an 11. Ooh!
Oh, good.
21. Okay, we're good.
Okay.
Nope, I did not do well at all.
Okay. So, on a successful save, you are unaffected by the psionic flare. And on a failed save,
is this considered a save? Just real quick.
Yes.
Okay, that being the case,
Wait,
since this is happening from an aberration, then I actually do have advantage on saves against aberrations if I.
Let me go. I think it's no, it's a check. Otherwise, your equipment malfunctions for that turn, and you can't use it.
Okay.
Those of you who succeeded are unaffected. It just has slightly separate rules if you happen to be living constructs such as Vect, but that's none of you. Okay. And now it is the dragon's turn.
What happens to us, those of us that failed?
Your tech is not working for this round.
Okay.
All right. So, the dragon is going to use its frightful presence as it lashes out with its tentacles. So everyone, if you would, make a wisdom saving throw.
By the way, Cole, did you did you roll to heal yourself on your turn? Because my my spirit is still going.
Forgot about that. Is that on everybody, or is that who is that on?
It's an area of effect. So basically, I centered it around you and whoever else was standing around you.
Yeah, I forgot about that. What's the what do we roll for the healing?
Good question.
I can't remember if I was nearby or not.
I think you're near me, Mem. Anyone that's within 10 feet of me can have advantage on saving throws.
And how that healing spirit works is on as long as it's still up, you can move through the 5-foot space that it's standing in with your movement, and you can heal. Just go stand next to it, and then move wherever you want to. And since you're all fairly close together, and it's right next to Cole, you should be able to get to it.
I had cast it on overpower, so it's supposed to heal 4d6 per level.
Oh, holy cow!
Oh,
Yeah, well, I definitely moved, and I think given that we're on a what is a ramp basically, it's or a walk, a catwalk.
It's basically a catwalk
narrow,
around this pool.
I think it's impossible not to move through it when we're moving, so I will definitely roll that if I may.
Oh, kind station master, I critically failed.
You critically failed.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Oh my, indeed.
let me do my wisdom.
Can you be frightened? You're a paladin.
I think it's really hard to do that to a paladin. I think you're correct about that.
Get out of the way.
Turn in your badge.
And your gun.
Turn in your badge and your hammer.
Oh. Oh. Is it 15?
It is 16.
Oh. Okay.
This was wisdom, was it?
Yes.
Saving throw against the effect from the dragon?
Yes. Again.
Did you include the bonus you get too? Because I thought that there was a slight buff to your wisdom, thanks to a mind shield amulet.
Yeah,
thing.
the ring of mind shielding means you get advantage.
That's me, thank God.
Okay. Oh, try again.
I remember specifically we had a discussion as to who should carry this amulet.
Yes.
Who needed it?
I believe the deciding factor was so we don't want someone getting mind controlled who has access to an orbital cannon. So that.
Yes.
I did lie about my aura protection. You don't get an advantage. You get a bonus to your saving throw equal to your charisma modifier with a minimum bonus of 1. And it says that starting at 10th level, you and friendly creatures within 10 feet of me can't be frightened while I'm conscious. So should I roll again, or does that kind of negate this attack?
It depends if everyone is like right next to you, or if some people have kind of spread out.
Okay.
I think I did say I moved, so that I might spread out. But I rolled a 20 total, so that kind of helps.
Yeah, Fritz had also been moved
bad.
away from the. Yeah, Fritz had also been moved away from that group, but Fritz managed a 17, so sort of skinned their teeth.
You are not frightened by the dragon.
I think I'm close to Mem, and that might be it with maybe Rakmara near us.
I'm actually a bit further away because I'm not getting involved in that shit.
It's just you and me. You and me.
I'm in the way back, but
He saw the D and the R of the dragon and decided to hightail it. So.
but wisdom happens to be my best ability score, and so with a 17, I get a 22.
Okay. All right. So anyone who has succeeded their saving throw, you're now immune to the dragon's frightful presence for the next 24 hours. You laugh at danger. You eat danger for breakfast.
I'm still not sure if I should roll again. I'm sorry. Does this count as frightened?
I'd say you're probably fine.
Okay, cool. Yay.
So that's the first of its attacks. And now it is going to attempt to take a swipe at Cole with its claws.
Oh no.
So 26.
Yes. Let me just double check my armor class. Yes, no, that's that. My armor class is 18 currently. So yeah, that would be a yes. Yes, that would be a hit.
And a 19.
That one I might actually try to do a thing. if I may. And that would be using another risk die.
Okay.
I can put that here in, and let me get back to the page where I had that. There it is. Skin of your teeth. Add the risk die to your AC against this attack, potentially causing it to miss. And yes, that increases my AC to 22.
Okay. So it catches you on the first swipe, and you are able to maneuver so that the second one misses you. However, you will take some damage from the first swipe. Uh, 13 points of slashing damage. And then it will attempt to grapple you with its tentacles. 26 again.
God. Well, you know what occurs to me? I actually, if I use one more risk die and I try to, I might be able to beat it if I roll high enough. It's not, the odds are not in my favor, but one may as well.
Spend them if you got them.
I was going to say, not being grabbed by a dragon is probably a good thing to aim
It is a good
for.
idea. Well, we'll see what happens. And, hang on. And now math. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Nope, I think it's just up to, no, just gets me up to 25. I rolled a 7.
Okay.
Actually, it was a 26. What was it on the attack?
26.
Actually, I couldn't have. It was, because I was rolling a d8. What am I doing? Did not do the math properly. So it wouldn't have helped anyway.
Okay. So, you will take 10 points of damage from the tentacles, and you are now grappled.
Okay.
Ooh. Someone better help him out.
Sure,
He doesn't leave that healing spirit, because that would be very troublesome.
Cole, if you would be so kind to make an intelligence saving throw as this creature wraps its tentacles around you
Okay.
and attempts to pull you in.
Let's give it a shot. It's not great. No, I got an 11.
Okay. So you are now stunned until the grapple ends. So everyone, you watch this dragon grab Cole with its tentacles and pull him towards its mouth. And he is going to attempt to extract your brain.
Ah, okay. I seem not to have been using it anyway, so.
Oh.
So, And that's only a 20 to hit, and I believe you raised your AC up to 25, yes?
With against that attack, yeah.
Only that attack.
Yeah.
It doesn't
So I
continue.
need to, yeah, it's
subsequent
unfortunately
attacks.
it's a case by case basis, but
Okay.
if you
All right.
if you would like to be incredibly kind, we could say that it was since I didn't need to do since I did the math wrong the first time, we could say that applies to this one, but or if you prefer, I can just spend another and do it again.
Well, I suppose that is up to you.
Well, I mean, you know, it's the. I mean,
Is that like a reaction that you use?
Yeah, it's a. It's a. Let me
I don't think you can take a reaction if you're stunned.
Oh,
so.
I see. Let me see what it says here. On the thing once again, skin of the teeth. It is a reaction. It is a reaction. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. So
It's the handful of dice that worries me.
cool, you will take
More.
There's more rolling.
Yeah. That's a lot of rolling.
45 points of piercing damage.
Ah, okay. Well, that puts me at 3 under.
Okay. Cole has fallen unconscious, and the dragon is consuming his brain. Which means, unless someone has a means of resurrecting Cole, he will die.
Wait, can I just heal him, or do I have to actually cast some like a resurrection?
That depends. We will do death saving throws if you do not get to him between now and then. But the dragon casts Cole's body on the catwalk, and he is it's not looking good for the gunslinger.
So where did he cast the body?
onto the bridge over the pool.
What did he cast?
Near
I
us?
missed that, sorry.
Near us anywhere?
Like right back to where my spirit might be, or
No, on that little part that goes out over the liquid.
Further from us, in other words.
Yes. He's not going to make it easy for you.
Naturally.
oh no, but. How far away from the spirit is it?
So where on the map would you like your spirit to have been placed?
Where? I'm sorry, I need to look at the map again.
Map, yeah.
Can we get a map? Thank you. I got to blow that up because I can't see that.
I'll drop it in the Discord again, too.
So where are we standing again? Are we?
So you came through the door, and either you have kind of fanned out along that little bridge or along the edge of the circumference of the pool, depending on where you all want to be. And I imagine you're standing just way back in the entry.
Okay, I'm sorry. Where is everybody else standing? Is that by the 3 yellow dots?
No, I thought we were between 3 and 4, so I imagined that. So Cole, I assumed, had gone up by the railing, kind of on the top side of that railing, if I'm correct. Cole, that's where you kind of got grabbed from.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
relatively close to the door.
Yeah, and Fritz was right in that area, sort of at the, for lack of a better term, the northernmost railing there that's going out over the liquid, kind of in that
Okay.
spot, not around the
Okay.
outside. Since Fritz was kind of near Cole, where Cole got grabbed from.
Yeah. So, so we'll say that when the dragon grabs Cole, noms his brain, it then tosses him over on the far side with those 3 gold dots.
How far is
Okay.
that?
That is about 15, 20 feet from the pointy edge of the railing, the corner.
Sorry, I think I can actually teleport things, right? Like open portals. Is that an action? Or
Yeah,
is
that
like
is
a
an
reaction?
action that you can take with your obelisk cube, your codex.
Is it like an action, or like will it take up my entire round? I'm just trying to because I have so many things that I can do, but
all right, give me a second. I will pull up the artifact.
so I have different options as to how I can save Cole.
Okay. Slipgate. The Codex has 4 charges and regains 1 charge daily at dawn. As an action, you can expend one of its charges to open a 10-foot diameter portal between 2 precise points in the multiverse that you choose. These 2 locations can be anywhere in the verse, including different planes of existence. The locations must be known to you, or you can specify a general location, such as a particular maw or elemental plane of fire. You can orient the portal in any direction that you choose. The portal lasts for up to a minute. You can dismiss it as an action. It has a front and a back at each location where it appears. Travel through the portal is possible only by moving through its front. It only goes one way.
No. Okay, that's a little much for.
Yeah, it's a little
moving Cole
overkill
up
for
in the-
just like Misty stepping over.
Yeah.
Like this is it. This is your get out of Dodge ticket if you need to bail for some reason.
Don't give him ideas.
All right, I think I have an idea of what I need to do.
Our initiative order anymore? I don't even remember.
Cole, Dragon, Narita, Mako, Lasnus, Rekmara, Dr. Wu, Lee, Fritz. But Dragon does stuff in between sometimes because Dragon.
Because Dragon.
Because dragon.
All right, as he sees what happens to Cole, he is going to shout out, "Everybody move over to Cole now."
Oh.
Narita, you're up next. What do you do? Cole has had his brain stolen by Ivo Varas and been tossed to the far edge of the pool. You can get there. You can walk around that little catwalk that goes around the edge.
Okay. We're doing it.
Rekmara has yelled out for everyone to get to Cole.
Yes. So I will get there.
Okay.
Now, I was even ready to use Expeditious Retreat, but to get to Cole.
Okay.
And I'll actually do Spare the Dying for him.
Okay. Cole, is stabilized. We're not sure how it's possible. He's brain dead. He has no brain.
But he's alive. We'll figure the rest out later.
But
One crisis at a time.
She's cradling Cole's brainless little body, hanging on to him.
Lastness. You're next.
Okay. I am going to, even though my mechanics are currently not working for this round, Nomad's not technology. He's an actual entity, correct? He's a gem. Okay, good. Because I want to kind of do two things at once, sort of. I'd like to cast Hard Light Frame on myself as I fly over to Cole.
Okay.
And that will do a couple of things. I gain 40 temporary hit points.
Okay.
Which I'm really, 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 really happy about. I also have my size become large if it was smaller. So I will describe that in great detail, I promise all of you. It has advantage on strength checks and saving throws. And I get 2 integrated battle fists. I would like to attack this thing on my way across, but I think that will open myself up to an attack of opportunity, right?
Perhaps.
Okay. I don't think I will. I think I'll just fly straight to Cole. And even though I cast that hard light projection on myself, that hard light frame, am I able to do, like... No, I can't do cantrips. I don't have any cantrips. All right. Can I do lay on hands when I reach Cole?
It would be an action, and you would have had to use your action to do the hard light frame. So
okay, that's fine. Then I'll just do that then. I thought it was going to be a lot more.
We have a healing potion, right? Can we just like pour it on his face or something? That's a free action, right?
No, I think to feed it to someone else, it would be an action as well.
Just inject it. Isn't there an injection gun?
Yeah,
I've got 3 of them.
Operate the thing.
I mean, Fritz does have 4 hypo sprays, so Fritz is just like the slowest member of the team right now.
So.
Oh, yeah. When I realized I was on the Rec Morale plan, I got my own hypodermic needles and my own healing potions. Yeah. Can I just inject Cole? Come back, buddy.
That depends. Did you actually use Expeditious Retreat? And is that a bonus action or an action?
It is a bonus action.
Right.
She didn't use that though. She just went. She went over to Cole.
Ran over there. Okay.
Ran over.
Yeah. You can.
Will that help? Will it work?
You don't know.
Does a cantrip count as an action?
I believe Spare the Dying is an action, though. Yeah.
Okay, never mind then. But next time.
So, Rekmara, you are up next. Narita and Lasnus have both moved over to Cole's location.
Okay. This calls for a change of venues, and he's going to glide over to where Cole is and motion everybody to follow him, and then he's going to open a portal at the feet of at the bottom of this, and at the bottom of Cole, centered on Cole, and the other portal is going to open up right by their ship.
Whose ship?
Okay.
Our ship.
At Unum.
Unum.
Ah.
Okay.
A little too crowded in here.
All right.
That's good. We're outdoors again. The view would be so improved by an orbital space cannon.
Well, I was thinking that would allow Fritz to use the spaceship instead of her pistol.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So
And maybe buy some time for the doctor to heal.
the
Cole.
dragon attempts to make a tail attack against Narita.
I'm just hanging out. What's wrong? Come on, buddy. Just be cool.
And that's a natural 20.
No.
Oh, no.
That is the opposite of what we want.
Like, obviously, I'm about to take this damage. Gonna have two of us out.
So you'll take a total of 20 points of bludgeoning damage from the tail.
Get out of here, tail. But on the inside,
It's okay.
she's
She's
like,
still got a
"Oh."
suit. Her suit's fine. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
We're still here. Still cradling Cole.
All right. Sora moves toward Cole and the party and the portal, as does Lee and the dragon. Makes a tail attack on her. And it hits. She only takes 8 points of bludgeoning damage. Fritz. Moving
All
for the
right.
portal.
Okay, so everybody else is over there, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Sora
Fritz,
and Lee have gone through the portal.
Okay, so they've gone through the portal. Everybody else is going through now, probably. So Fritz is like the last one through, or will be at this point, probably.
Yeah.
Likely. Okay. Fritz is full of themselves at this point, having actually done damage on the dragon the last time around. And in a fit of who knows what, runs and jumps to go toward the portal, but also tries to like hand smack the dragon on the way by in order to do shocking grasp. And basically go, tag, now you're it, and then attempt to dive through the portal.
Okay. So you dive through the portal. Lee has hefted Cole, and she is hauling him through the portal with her. Narita, are you going through the portal?
Yes.
Lasness, going
Yes.
through the portal?
Yes.
Rekmara.
I'm waiting till Lasness goes through the portal.
Okay,
I'm sorry. I'm waiting for everybody else to go through first.
Everyone has gone through the portal.
Okay. So is it my turn to act? Do I
Yes.
act again? Okay. As he's exiting the portal, he's going to cast one more spell and then flip the bird at the dragon.
Bird flipping the bird.
He's going to cast Transmute Rock on the ceiling over the dragon and basically let it rain mud down on it.
Okay.
Couldn't make it lava, unfortunately. I mean, the mud's fine, but then again, it might just go fire. I was born of this.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a 40-foot cube that will fall on.
Okay.
They have to make a dex save.
$15.
I'm sorry, that does not save against my DC. So the dragon's going to take 48 points of damage. Is that right? Yeah, 48.
Okay.
5, 7, 12. Another 7 is 19. And a 8. So 27 points of damage.
All right.
Nice job.
You all step through the portal, and you find yourself next to your ship with your fallen comrade.
I'm pretty sure he's going to be coming out after us sooner or later, so I think we have a moment to reset and rest. I need a short rest to recover some spells.
Oh, Fritzes are covering the hole. Fritzes are totally covering the portal.
Okay.
Well, I'm
Right.
going to shut the portal off when I get through. But
Don't do that.
why are we coming? What,
That's how
you
we know where he's coming.
No, he's not going to come through there. He's going to have to go through out. I'm going to make him go out through the long way. So that we have breathing time.
Gets
I'll
a
let
little
him use
space.
my portal.
Yeah.
Really? I have to walk that whole way back.
We'll
No.
meet him part way, probably.
He's probably going to come after us. Either that, or we're just going to have to blow the thing, blow the structure down around him, and
Or
then
we're
he'll
just gonna
have to
have to-
come out after us.
We're gonna have to use an orbital space cannon to blow a hole back into his lair.
Sounds good to me. Maybe to blow up him too.
Fine, I'm gonna go make lunch. Tell me when you're ready to go back in.
I'm
He's
not
like-
going back in. We're going to wait for him to come back out.
Just like cradling Cole's body, and Fritz is like, "Gotta go make lunch. Bye."
Okay.
Somebody else has that under control. It's not a Fritz thing.
So you board the ship. You are preparing for the dragon to follow you.
Our fallen comrade has words.
Cole,
Yeah,
I would need a death save from you.
Okay. Now, does Spare the Dying do anything with
No, actually,
respect to that?
never mind. I don't need a death save from you. Spare the Dying has been cast. You're stable.
May I do
You are-
one weird? May I do
You're
one
covered.
weird existential narrative thing?
Yes, you may.
Whatever essence of Cole may currently reside with the dragon,
Yes.
we'll let it know that it needs to be damn sure if it wants to attempt to consume him, because it will get all of his pain, and he will be delighted to deliver it.
Excellent. So, as this lonely, angry parasite, hollowed out by jealousy and envy, attempts to absorb Cole's memories and live vicariously through his love and rage and pain, that's where we're going to go to break.
Right, very good.
Yeah, there was no way we were going to survive that fight without
I love
the
the
highest
idea
damage
of,
dealer.
I love the idea of
nope.
a dragon choking to death on coals on Wii.
I know, right?
Defeated
Most
by
deadly
your
weapon.
own.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
well, folks, we're going to be we'll be back in a few minutes, and we'll see what happens. See you shortly. We have returned. Welcome to that strange liminal space between life and death. And I think it involves making lunch on a spaceship, as far as I'm aware. I'm not quite sure.
I'm immediately going to go to Cole's body and cast Cure Wounds at I counted. Yes, I did count. Level 3.
Okay.
Marking that. Sorry, guys, I have to do this one-handed for the moment. Someone very cute takes precedence. So it's going to be a 3d8. Do I roll it or does
You
Cole?
roll it.
Okay, my apologies. All right.
Unless you don't have hands, in which case I guess I could roll it for you if you prefer.
I thank you.
All right.
1, 3. Okay, I did 8 points of healing. It didn't do much.
Okay. You see your divine magic pours into him, and like the head wound sort of starts to close, but Cole's currently having an out-of-body experience, so it's not really doing quite what you expected.
She draws her hands back from his bloody clothes and kind of like gasps in shock and says, "There's something really, really wrong here. He's not responding right."
Well, his mind got sucked out by that dragon.
It can do that?
Did you not see the tentacles? Usually when tentacles from a psionic being wrap around your head, it's feeding on something.
But there should still be something left of him. There's nothing. It's a shell.
Yeah, well, yes, because like I said, his whole soul probably got sucked out.
You need to open a portal back up. I gotta go back down there. His soul is getting munched on. Like a space hot pocket.
Well, maybe someone can try a greater restoration spell first?
I don't have that spell.
No, but I believe the cleric does.
Dr. Wu reaches into a bag at her side, and she pulls out a diamond, which, Lathnus, with your keen eye for those precious, precious minerals, you know this is worth at least 300 credits.
Ooh.
And she places it on Cole's forehead, and she casts Revivify. And Cole, you will come to consciousness with 9 hit points instead of only 1.
Okay.
I want you to imagine waking up in Narita's arms.
Am I in my body? I think is the important
You
question.
are. You return to your body. You have this strange, sort of dreamlike awareness of just these flashes of a laboratory, dimly lit, sounds of dripping, running water, tadpoles being extracted from a vat and injected into a dragon egg. panic as years later, this dragon mutated beyond recognition and grown beyond the power of its captors, breaks free of its containment and begins to attack, extracting their brains and absorbing their knowledge. And you gasp as you return to consciousness in your own body. Weak, but whole.
Right. I'm just sort of like, they made it. They made it. And they made it. Whoa. He just sort of glances up, and I assume just like right at sort of if Narita is still standing right up there, just sort of, hi. Yeah.
He's alive.
I don't recommend being hugged by that thing. It's not fun.
And he just kind of pats your forehead. Oh. Hi, buddy. Welcome back.
Ow.
There's lunch.
That's good. Did we win?
That's when Rekmara has his, I wouldn't say cackling laughter, more like a dismissive, humorless laughter. Goodness, no. Whoa. You being the most competent member of the group, apart from myself, after you had fallen, I made the judicious decision for us to retreat.
This is more like halftime. You were the amuse bouche.
I gotta get ready for it. And he slowly
It's
starts
about-
trying to get to his feet.
This time, as you were attempting to rise, that Fritz, whichever one of you is on the bridge getting ready to shoot at things, you see at the front, the windshield, you see Mako fleeing. He's like running for his life, coming out the broken entrance to this compound and running for the gangplank as fast as he can.
Fritz will hop on the comm and say, hey, Mako's coming in at light speed. I bet you they're being chased. Fritz on the bridge will start training the ship's weapons that direction and basically turn it over to Unum to fire when ready.
Inject as many hypo sprays into into Cole as you can right now.
Okay. So I'll give you all each a round of action to prepare as I bring up Unum's stats here.
How much is in a healing potion? Like, how many points do you get back?
2d4 plus 2 for a regular one.
2d4 plus 2. Gonna inject myself.
Once Fritz on the bridge is comfortable that Unum knows what the target is, whatever it is that's following Mako and not Mako, they'll join the party down on the ground so that there will be two Fritzes on the ground.
Okay. Do you want to be on the ground, or do you just want this to be a ship combat?
Can we do both?
Fritzes are going to be on the ground.
Okay.
Unum may decide that getting some altitude wouldn't be a bad idea.
Okay.
46.
Rekmara is going to cast his healing spirit again on everybody, or pulling everybody in.
Okay.
And he's going to overcast it, so it will heal 5d6 points of damage.
Ooh.
So everybody roll 5d6.
Oh, okay.
Instead of the purple fey.
Let me take back my thing then. I'll use my stuff. Use your stuff.
He instead of a purple fey though, you see one of those mushroom people, and it's shrouded in black and has a veil over its face, as if to suggest that she's merely just sparing the dying at this point, postponing your deaths.
Jeez.
Thanks for the vote of confidence.
We're getting the funeral set up for you.
That's good. That's very good. Let's see. Yeah, I think that when there are two Fritzes out here now.
There are two Fritzes now in one place.
Not seen this
You
before.
are not seeing double.
So just basically Fritz is sort of, well, that's the thing is when Fritz comes up, Cole's getting ready to inject himself with another healing hypo, and he just sort of looks over his like, what? And he just sort of looks at whoever else is nearby. You're sure I'm not still dead?
Ignorio's just like, unless we're all dead.
Because I'm seeing two.
And the Fritzes say in unison, Cole, you're looking a little better now.
Thanks. Have there always been two of you?
I'm going to venture and say that now is not really the appropriate time to.
Fair enough. I'm gonna do a healing potion. It's 2d4 plus 2. Okay. 5, 6, 7. That's another 7.
How long is this time period lasting?
1 round.
Yeah, so you get to do one thing and move into position where you want to be.
Okay, so I still have the hard light frame on me.
Yes.
Okay. Don't forget, guys, lots of feathers.
He's going to. Rekmara is going to also cast Polybrachia on Lasnus. And you'll see, well, I guess this is it. And you'll see that 4 of those evolutionary diamonds appear in his hand and float around and then smack everybody in the party in the forehead and raises one of their stats by 1d4. pick whatever they want. Although the diamond that was meant for Fritz is having trouble deciding between the two. So it's just vibrating in place, and then it just hits the left one.
So I go up 2 on my con, if that's what I want.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh. Is the previous effect still running, or would that have dropped off?
That probably would have dropped off.
Yeah. Okay.
So, the frame that I'm wearing is a concentration. If I wanted to summon the orbital hardlight cannon, I would also have to drop the frame, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Well, sometimes the best offense is offense.
This is one of those days I should have written stuff down. I'm trying to remember how much I got boosted before. I think, was it like 6? Was that the thing on my dex? I think it might have been that Mark cast. Because my dexterity had been sitting at 24 from the boost last time, and I assume that's up from, I guess, 18. But I can't remember if I had put it at 18 or if I had raised it somehow afterwards.
I'm not sure if that's even possible, because you would only get boosted by 4. So that would have meant that your
the other possibility is that the other one got wiped out because he died.
Well, that's fine. But
what's your original
was before?
The regular dexterity is.
I'm trying to remember if my regular dexterity is 18 or somehow 20.
Do you elevate it to 20 based on
possibly
leveling up to 10?
Yeah. I think I might have actually done that through levels. I think I might have asked if that was the thing. Okay. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Buy followers. Oh, wait, no, let's not do that. And bend. Okay. The bot has been destroyed.
Okay. So, are we ready? Is everyone in their places? No. No. Well, too bad, because as Mako reaches the ship, the huge dragon bursts from its lair. Somewhat worse for wear, but still looking pretty intimidating.
Does he have a lot of mud on him?
Yeah, he's quite muddy, a little battered. So we will start at the top of the round.
Can we re-roll our initiative?
We can roll for a new initiative, sure. Might as well. This is a new combat.
$13.
3.
10.
How simple or complex are we doing this? I can do 1 roll for 2 Fritzes or 2 rolls.
It's up to you. maybe let's say we'll just have all the Fritzes act on one initiative.
Okay, it was a 2.
Okay.
24.
24.
So
Okay.
I think we just ended up in the same order as last time.
It's different. I was higher up last time, I think.
Yeah, you were.
It's different this time. I did worse. I've got the feelings about this.
Just knocking things all over the place on my desk here.
Okay. Once again, top of the round, Cole.
Hi. Can you remind me, because once again, is it a full action to take a potion?
For yourself, I would let you do it as a bonus action.
Oh, okay.
To give it to someone else, it would be a full action.
Okay. Excellent. Since I've got 2 more of the things, and I'm, just sort of like, I figure I had them out anyway. Let's keep going. So that's going to be the bonus action. This round to try to continue the healing process. And let's see, 4, 5. That's another 7. So it's not terrible. It's getting better. Let's see. And thankfully, while I was in there, by any chance, did I learn what the dragon's pronouns are?
It doesn't particularly care. The Illithid referred to it as it. We could go with they if you want to be personable.
Sure, why not? Okay.
Once you've had your brain snapped on by them, it's anything.
I mean, yeah. I figure it's hard to get closer to a person than to than that. So just basically, what are we looking at range wise for this? As far as how far the dragon is away, roughly.
Let's see. That, I suppose, depends how far away from the entrance to the cave Lasness parked the ship.
Let's say it's just a good distance away.
Yeah, it's still at range, we'll put it that way. It is not in melee yet.
We're not at curbside pickup range.
No.
How long will it take for the dragon to make its delivery?
How fast could it move? It can fly 80 feet.
80? Gosh.
Can only walk or swim about 40. So you're thinking maybe a round or 2 at most.
Okay. So I think that might. Yeah. Let me see. So. There's this weird thing right now going on with the there's a thing where I have gun with a name, which I think increases the range of.
Okay.
So Vantha's range right now would be 120, 360.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
So if that works, then I will attempt to. I will try firing her. Firing her. It's like, hey, back again. Should we take another shot? And, start firing. Oh, hey. Apparently, my bot has just been... Oh, and a number of other people have just been subscribed. Thank you very much, Anonymous Gifter, for the subs. Thank you very much. That's... It was just funny because I looked up and apparently my bot was subscribed. And I was like, oh, okay, sure. That works. But that's because a lot of people are. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to fire a sentient weapon now.
Okay.
Okay, so that is I have to adjust my oh, that's right, I have to adjust the thing. Hang on. I actually applied my bonus to Constitution this time instead of Dexterity for obvious reasons.
Okay.
So I need to figure out what I'm adding, and this time I'm adding 12 instead of 14, so that is a 19.
19 just hits.
Excellent.
19 just hits. Committing that to memory.
So this is the first shot, which is just the 2d6 because of course it is. And that's 2 points of damage, 2 whole points of damage as we continue to ping away at it.
Better than 0.
This is true. That is considerably better than 0. And then the second shot, which that's better. That is a 26, which means that now that I know the math, I can go ahead and use my my additional weapon die of damage on that. Now I'm going to. A very quick conversation happens.
Okay.
In my head between myself and Vantha.
Yes.
There's a trick I can do to make you to make you cause a little more damage right now, but you'll have to rest for a few seconds afterward. Are you okay with that? It's gonna get hot.
Okay. Sure.
All right. And I'm gonna overcharge.
If it'll help stop you from dying again.
No promises. And that's only marginally more damage, but at least it's more. It's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 damage.
Okay. Slowly but surely picking away at the mutant dragon.
And I'm taking cover wherever cover is available.
Okay. You are outdoors, so there's plenty of like little rocky outcroppings and stuff nearby, so you can get to some cover.
I will choose the outcropping that is most optimal to fend off brain thieving.
Okay. Okay. So, as you are still sitting just outside the dragon's lair, tendrils of semi-solid psychic energy coalesce around you, Cole.
Oh, yay.
Oh, great.
And I would like you to make a wisdom saving throw. Once
Here we-
more, with
here we go.
feeling.
Here we go again. Oh, God. Oh, boy. All right, wisdom. Here we go.
Psychic
20.
tentacles. 20. That is a success, so you will only take half damage. So you'll take 2 points of psychic damage. At least it's
Really
not
bad.
doing much better than you. My eldritch dice have decided to hate you a little less.
Yay.
And that brings us to Rekmara's turn.
Rekmara is what is he going to do? Ooh, does he want to be that risky though? No, that's not him. Rekmara is going to cast Call Lightning, centered on the dragon, and he's going to cast it at level 5. So that should add a potential of 5d10 points of damage. Got to roll a dex save, I believe.
Dex save. Total of 22.
Okay, so you only get to take half damage. All right. 5, 7, 12, 14, 19, 19 and 3 is 22, so 11 points of damage.
Okie dokie. Anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
He's going to move the healing spirit to Cole.
Okay. So now it is Mako's turn. He's joining the initiative. And he is going to... He's going to cast Eldritch Blast.
Ooh. I didn't know he was a warlock. Is that a warlock thing?
It is a warlock thing. Now you know.
Ooh.
Maybe we didn't want to be leaving the warlock behind with the dragon, right?
So you see as a small it looks like, it kind of looks like a little portal or swirling vortex of energy opens up in his palm, and a just kind of beam of force fires through it. But unfortunately, it goes a little bit wide and doesn't quite make its mark.
Oh, that's incredibly unfortunate.
So, when that fails, he holds out his hand and summons his sword from an extra dimensional pocket. And that will end his turn for now as he runs toward the dragon. And Lee is up next. She fires with her swarm pistols. And they all miss.
That psychic attack got us all just all over the place.
Recovered from seeing Cole nearly die in front of her eyes. And she's yelling at this crazy Silwagan sword lock. And the dragon looks at Lasness.
Sitting there, glowing like all get out between the hard light thing and then forearms. Looks like a dwarven. Looks like a Machamp actually.
That's what I was thinking too.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
It looks at Lasness. Ivovarus looks at Lasness. And it waves its tentacles as it begins to cast a spell.
Okay.
So, as the spell assaults your mind, I would like you, Lasness, and anyone who is within 10 feet of her to make a wisdom saving throw.
You do get
Probably the Fritzes.
Probably Narita.
You do get a bonus to your saving throw equal to your charisma modifier with a minimum bonus of 1, and my charisma is
Oh, thank God, my Christmas.
Go on.
The thing I added the +2 for. Yes. Yes.
So both Fritzes managed to nearly critically fail their wisdom rolls, which is really bad. and so ended up with a 7 and a 9.
Okay.
I got a 19.
All right.
With my sweet bonus, I got a 7.
Okay.
17 for me.
All right. So Lasness and Rekmara pass. The rest of you.
Wait, actually, wait. I can't do. Can I do both my wisdom and my charisma bonus thingy?
Yes, you add
Oh.
your wisdom saving throw bonus, and then on top of that, you add your charisma bonus because you're standing next to Lasness.
Oh, I'm fine then. Never mind. I take it back.
Okay. So you rolled above 16?
I rolled a 16.
Okay, 16 still passes. Okay.
Well, we all have 1 point of inspiration, right? So,
Yes, everybody has an inspiration die if you haven't already spent it.
This might be the time to spend it. So
I also
one of the
moved
Fritzes
to the
will get
rock,
another
so I
shot.
assume I'm sorry.
Yes, Cole, you're out of the range.
Same result.
What is
Literally.
the result is that you are confused. Those of you who failed, you're confused, and you will need to roll a d10 for me at the start of your turn to see what happens.
That's where I go late. So.
I believe, Lasness, you are up next.
Okay. I'm going to put my hands together and I'm going to say, Nomad, we need to stop this and we need to stop this now. And then there's going to be like a rush of feathers that come through and her hard light frame disappears and the orbital space cannon shows up. Just like slightly to the side of Unum and of course a mile high in the air.
Okay.
I'd like to target it directly on the dragon.
Okay. It is not in melee with anyone yet, so you're good.
So I'm going to say to him, thanks for looking at me straight in the eye. I wanted to make sure this shot connected. And you're going to need to do a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. $16.
Okay. That ties. Wait, let me just double check that. Oh, can I also turn on my energy shield bracer?
Yeah.
As a bonus action? Okay, so that adds 2. So no, it doesn't make it.
Okay. So roll some damage.
Okay, so that's going to be 20 d10. Sorry, my camera's on.
You said 20? 20?
20 d10.
Yeah. This is the overkill machine.
That's right. I forgot the
cannon.
I forgot for a second what we were talking about. I was like, what do you have that does that?
I have
That's no moon.
It's really Nomad that does it. I just added the feathers. 87 points of damage.
87 points of damage.
In your face.
All right. Okay. The dragon is now severely wounded. And it roars at you angrily.
I'm sure he is.
It is Dr. Wu's turn, but she is doing something on the ship right now. So the dragon is going to take a legendary action. And it's going to, what is it going to do?
charge. I'm trying to keep track of my charges, so that way I'm not gaming the system. Scout's honor.
Okay. It is going to cast a spell on Mako.
Oh no.
Who rolls an 8 -1 because he is not wise. As you may have guessed, he's kind of a hotshot. So you see his charge suddenly slows down. Even with advantage, because you're in combat with him, he still fails this roll. His charge slows down, and he's sort of staring at the dragon, entranced for a moment. And the dragon says, "Turn around and fight for me."
Oh, it was nice knowing you, Mako.
You got that, buddy.
So, Mako has been dominated. And Narita, you're up next.
Can a giant angry, I guess now dying dragon be paralyzed? You know what? No, never mind. I don't care. I'm going to try to kill it. I am going to do a spell that I have lost. Let me find it. There it is. Lightning bolt.
Lightning bolt. Dexterity save from the dragon.
Yes.
21.
Well, fine. I guess I won't overpower it since there's no point. All right, great. Thank you. Let me give you your damage. $10, 15, 25, 25, 31. 31. Is that right? Can I do math? 31. So can I round that up and say 16?
Yeah, sure.
You're the best. 16 points.
Okay. It's looking a little crispy. Still alive. Fritz, you're up next.
So I'm supposed to tell you to roll where Fritz is confused, and I'm actually confused. So.
Okay, roll me a
D10, I
a
think.
D10, and I will tell you what happens.
Okay, and that's for each of them?
Yes.
Okay. 9.
9. You can move and act normally.
Hooray!
Oh, okay. Fritz pulls the repeater and fires lightning twice at the dragon.
Okay.
Per usual.
Okay.
All right, let's see how this works. 18.
18 just misses.
All right. 2 actions, though, so does the same thing again.
Okay.
Nope, miss on that one then, if
Okay.
18. So. Okay. Other Fritz, rolling the confusion die.
Okay.
7.
7. The creature uses its action to make a melee attack against a randomly determined creature within its reach. you are right next to, let's see, one of yourself and Narita and Lasness.
So it's like roll these, roll and see. Why am I imagining? Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
You are going to attack Narita.
Narita's gonna throw you. Pick you up and chuck you away.
So Fritz attacks Narita with the mace.
Okay.
Because it's the melee, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Fritz is trying to hit you with a wrench.
Big ol' wrench.
Wrenchinator.
You probably get this big old hand.
Fritz rolled really badly and probably wouldn't hit anything except himself and his other themselves. It misses everything, so.
Fritz is wildly swinging the giant wrench.
Yes.
Narita just snatches out of your hand and says, "Stop!"
Okay. And the dragon takes another. Hang on. Does it have any legendary actions left?
Oh, and did Unum go?
Unum has not gone yet. The dragon does not take any legendary actions because it has used those up to dominate Mako. So, the top of the next round, you see emerging from, well, some of you might not, but Rekamara, for sure, with the passive perception through the roof, notices that emerging from the vessel is Dr. Wu, and beside her, a tall, gaunt, bony creature with horns and kind of skeletal features.
Oh.
A very hungry Roth.
Oh, by the sepulcher.
By the cursed sun.
I said we weren't going to do that.
Says.
And Rhapsodos looks at this dragon that was created by its arch enemies since time immemorial. Granted, his own kind has cast him out, but this dragon is attacking the creatures who took them in and saved their life and the life of their companion, one Vect pilot, Trimaxian. And Rhapsodos looks at the dragon and says, "Did no one ever teach you not to play with your food?" And the Roth, having been on your ship in stasis, but psychically aware of everything that has been happening around you for some time, is going to misty step toward the dragon. And attempt to use Psionic Drain. And as it drains some of the dragon's memories, and the dragon starts to look a bit confused at what's happening to it, and the wrath looks a little bit stronger. You see the dragon is suddenly, its muscles lock up, and it is held in place. So the dragon is currently paralyzed. And Cole, you're on deck.
Well, that undoes the plan I was going to enact, but that's okay. Let's see. Just sort of looking over, I just sort of seeing this.
Yeah. Rhapsodos has a neural lock on the dragon.
Is Rhapsodos like right next to the dragon, or are they doing it from a distance?
Sort of halfway between the party and the dragon, kind of standing in the way.
Okay. All right.
So if the dragon wants to get closer, it will come through Rhapsodos.
Okay. So the dragon is
currently
paralyzed.
It cannot move. Yes.
Yeah. So the dragon is paralyzed. Are the tentacles also similarly paralyzed?
The tentacles, the psychic tentacles that were wrapped around you have dispersed.
Okay. Oh, psychic
its
tentacles.
Okay. It wasn't its actual tentacles. Those were psychic tentacles, because that was the lair action.
Oh, okay. All right.
Mm-hmm. So you were not actually being held. They were just like semi-solid energy that came up around you. And that's done.
Okay, all right. Well, no,
it's not actually holding you. Its own like physical tentacles are paralyzed along with it.
Okay.
Right. Mako is still. It's hard to say. He has turned to face the party, but we'll see what happens on his turn. So.
Okay. No, that's fine then. Actually, then I couldn't have done what I was thinking of doing anyway. Because I thought, for some reason, I thought there were physical tentacles that missed me that were sort of still around. But that's okay.
It hasn't gotten close enough to anyone to use actual physical tentacles yet.
Okay. No, that's cool. That's perfectly fine. In that case, we're just gonna, instead of trying to do something strange and clever, I'm just going to switch to the plasma launcher, and take a shot.
Okay.
So let's see. First shot is a 22. I presume that its armor class is not changed due to this.
Armor class is still 19.
Okay, all right. So that'll be just the regular hit with fire blaster, explosive heat stuff. And that's a decent roll. That's 11. So that's 11 damage from that one. And second shot, and I remember, of course, I actually cannot overcharge the plasma launcher. But so we'll just do the second shot. And that is... no, that's not going to hit. That's just a 17.
Yeah, 17 is a miss.
Yeah. And then for my bonus action, I will jab my last healing potion into myself. Oh wait, actually, I still have this. I still have the healing.
The healing spirit is near you. So
yeah, how much does it do?
It was set to do 5d6.
Okay, so if I do that again, just move through it this round. Will it do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will take a moment to do-si-do, and do my healing. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then if I may, I will also, for my bonus action, go ahead and use my last healing potion. Awesome. Okay. So that was another 10, as I rolled maximum on that. Excellent. I'm getting so much closer to full. So basically, yes. Do a quick dance through the thing back to the rock. As I'm switching out again. And that's me.
All right. Next is Rekmara.
All right, here goes. Here goes a rather strange twist in the. All right, I'm going to do a chain of things.
Okay.
Rekmara is going to use his obelisk. It's going to float in front of him, and then he's just going to blink out, and he's going to reappear, or attempt to reappear in the same space as the dragon.
Okay.
Doing so means that the dragon has to do a dex save against 17. On a failed save, the creature takes 46 force damage and moves to an adjacent space. On a success, the creature takes half much damage and doesn't move, and instead, Rekmara will appear adjacent to it.
Okay. That's 20 on the dex save.
Okay, so Rekmara is going to appear next to it. And he does 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. So he does a paltry 3 points of damage. And so that is actually just a bonus action. The next thing that he's going to do is he's going to cast a level 4 Cure Wounds on the dragon.
What are you doing?
So my Cure Wounds does, at level 4, does 5d8 points of healing, plus my Wisdom modifier, which is a 5.
Okay. Are you gonna roll that?
I'll let you roll that, since, it is the dragon.
5d8, you say?
Yes.
So 27 plus your wisdom, which was
5.
5.
That's 32.
Okay.
So
32.
So here's the thing. You see that the sun appears over the dragon, and it starts dripping darkness and fades to black, because Rekmara uses his non-believer racial feat, which is when a creature you see regains hit points due to magic, this reaction causes the creature to lose that many hit points instead. So I just did 32 points of damage to the dragon.
How do you want to do this?
So everybody feels a sense of smug malice in the air.
Alice.
As the dragon looks like he's about to get reinvigorated, but then starts shriveling, melting away like that the guy who drank the wrong cup in Last Crusade. And as that's happening, as insult to injury, Rekmaral's Call Lightning is also still in effect and just starts another bolt of lightning just shakes down and strikes the creature. And yeah. And
Alright.
soon there's probably a rather blackened paste. In the
Yes,
spot.
indeed. The dragon shrivels away and is blackened and burned to dust.
I don't know
And
if we relieved or horrified.
bit of both. And Narita, as the dragon dies, you sense the supernatural befoulment of the water in the area begin to dissipate.
Is it smelling
It is.
Poseidon-y?
It is. There's potential here. It'll take a few days for everything to clear up. But you should be able to at least start scanning and conducting some surveys. Now, you could explore the rest of its lair if you really want to go through that creepy Hall of Fame. But it's up to you. You're now out of initiative, and yeah.
Fritz's are, however, still confused, probably, right? That's
No, the dragon is dead, so that that spell ends.
We won?
You killed the dragon.
Well, but there's a rock
That is fair.
around out here now. It's like I'm not quite
There will
so
be-
sure that I'm excited about that.
Well, I feel like there will be a moment when I just sort of slowly stand up, sort of with the gun not pointed at anyone in specifically, but ready, just sort of looking over at the remains of the dragon, just sort of nodding, looking over at the Roth. And
So, yeah, as you see that, Rekmaral's walking away from the remains, and lightning is still crashing on the spot. But he's not looking back, so it's like that typical movie, explosions happening in the background as he's walking.
So
And it'll fade as he walks back to the group.
Okay.
just sort of looking back over at Rhapsodos, and just sort of being like, "Hey, we okay?
We're good.
Are we good? Okay." And he's not pointing the gun at Rhapsodos, but he's just making sure that it's like,
Rhapsodos walks back to the ship, back to their spot, and will reactivate
oh, okay.
the bracer.
And yeah, I just hope that we can get. I mean, it sort of if that happens, I'm figuring just sort of ask sort of Wu if they will go with them to try to, and if they need to get any last second questions you might want to ask your patient before they go catatonic again.
Yeah, well, she will accompany the patient.
But we will just sort of nod.
I just thought, it was a shame to have you all congregated around the ship and not have the Roth make an appearance.
Oh yeah, no, that was brilliant.
Yeah.
It was also great having Dr. Wu do it, because I think we'd already said none of us were going to, so it's
Right.
actually that works out.
You were like, let's bypass that then.
Yeah.
Bypass it. You didn't want the rock, I wanted it.
No, that's fine.
Do what we want.
Well, no, and that's the thing is, Wu would be the only one really qualified to make that decision, to tell the truth, really, with something like that. As we were like, no, we can't just turn them back on and then say, here, go fight this thing for us. So, that was kind of our attitude.
So this was well timed. So I feel like we should maybe go around and have a little epilogue for everybody, and so I guess we could follow the initiative order. Unless you would like to volunteer.
Well, as the smoke clears and the lightning stops, I guess, Narita is just like twitching, like, I'm gotta get out of this suit, gotta go find this water, gotta go, and is like really, really excited. So like calls back to that Nautilus ship back at the Maw station and is just like, get ready to come back. Starts talking to their captain or whoever, and is just like super excited. There's Poseidon's solution. The water's still kind of gross, but she's gonna get it in anyway.
Okay. You can. You find a spring. You can get in the water. You can have a pretty okay time.
It'll be like just like when she wrapped herself in the silk.
Yeah.
Splashing in this kind of gross Poseidon solution. Like, what else? It's close.
The much needed R&R. And
Exactly.
before the work of whatever comes next with the Manon and all that work of building whatever habitats you decide to build here.
Yeah. And then she's kind of soaking in on her, I knew we'd come back to Chiron. Brain worms.
Oceanus is still chasing space mermaids.
Oh, Oceanus.
Oceanus will at some point probably message Narita if and when they discover these catch up with these space mermaids, since we know they exist. And we'll learn that these space mermaids were once Nautilid, and during the destruction of your home planet, as they were flung through time and space, they encountered a large floating obelisk in space. And as their ship was about to be destroyed, it saved them and granted them the ability to exist within the vacuum of space.
Now we know.
So, what's next for the rest of you?
So as the smoke clears and the lightning settles from the field of battle, I think that's a good place for all of us to kind of pick up. Fritz turns to Fritz and says like, okay, why don't you see what's settled on Unum? I'm going to see if there's anything else going on to pick up, artifact-wise that might be useful to bring back up to the surface. And Fritz will see if there's anybody else who wants to go back into the ruins to see what useful, interesting, artifactual, museum level stuff would be fun to bring back up to the surface, and works to get that all back onto the ship and make sure that gets sent out to everybody else. So
you and whoever accompanies you will find in the next chamber over, in area number 7 on the map, is a bank of organic computers. Barely functional, but that's just your thing.
Okay, well, let's change that to Fritz is going to sit there and work on fixing this for however many lifetimes.
Fritz is going to be hanging out here with the Nautilid, rebuilding these organic computers and gathering all kinds of information left over from the brain wars, and perhaps some secrets of where the Illithid may have gone to while the Wrath fled to the edges of the galaxy.
All useful things to find out. So this is probably where this Fritz will hang out for time immemorial. The other Fritz is probably going to hang out with Unum and be spacefaring and check in with the other Fritzes. So,
okay.
In that moment, that's when Lastness says, "When were there 2 Fritzes?"
Oh, there's more than just two.
Why do you think Fritz is they?
I don't
Fritz's
question
pronouns are
anyone
we
question.
and us.
Listen, they may have a higher sense of self and want to be referred to in the third person. That's not my choice or my decision
Or
to make.
they may be plural.
They may be plural, which they apparently are, and I think that's wonderful for them.
And if anyone has seen, and even if you haven't, over in Fate of Saltmaw in the spin-off, there was a ragtag detective agency who was hired to play bodyguard for someone who introduced themselves as Clangswell Nunu Fritz Holtzbottom Thunderstruck the Fourth.
The fourth. I just thought maybe gnomes spawned or something. I don't know. I'm not a xenobiologist yet.
Well, it's not magic, but cloning is a thing.
Cloning is absolutely
True.
a thing.
But for all I know, this could be like a hive mind or budding. You never know. This could be mitosis.
I know.
There's just a little Fritz butting off. That's
Well,
pretty
communications implants do make it a little bit easier to keep track of who's thinking what, but
Fritz is not a person. Fritz is an organization. That's the thing I didn't realize.
a not very organized organization. I'll put it that way. Fritz is a network.
Fritz is a network.
Fritz is their own organic network of sorts.
So Lesness, what's next for our magical girl paladin?
So for lastness, after the fight, during the communal dinner, she makes a cake, and it's pretty well done, but horribly decorated. We're not going to discuss anything further on it. But during it, she's going to make her big announcement. She's leaving the Order of the Sepulchre, and she has made a decision to retire from the Star Scouts. And most importantly, she is going to do her best to help Nomad, and if for maybe the next little while, could she stay on Unum as she and Nomad start figuring out what they're going to do to help achieve Nomad's ultimate wishes.
Okay. And at some point in your stay aboard the ship under new management, you get a message from the Miners Guild on Saltmaw. And so Mamistrad Copperlocks tells you that her cousin, Gundren Rockseeker, claims to have rediscovered the lost moon of Phandelver.
Oh my god, really?
That's what he says.
Wow. Listen, we have like so many star cycles. Is it okay if we just do a quick overview of what's going on over there first? I promise you we'll get back to work immediately. I promise, Nomad. But first that.
So Nomad will accompany you on some adventures to find a lost moon and rescue some dwarves
It's gonna be
who got in over their heads.
Doesn't take much.
Oh, it's gonna be great. Anybody want to come with me? Fritz? How many more Fritzes should I address?
There's always a Fritz on the ship.
Muted.
Muted.
I'm laughing. I'm allowed to laugh.
I didn't realize I hit mute. I was going to say if you say Fritz 3 times, probably one will show up. So
Just whenever you go into the look in the mirror and you say it 3 times, and appear over your shoulder.
Up down the ventilation shaft.
Yeah.
right.
Oh. Who's next?
mine's probably pretty simple.
Okay.
If you want to, it's just like not long after you sort of in the aftermath of the thing, as things are dying down, and just basically will go over to Lee, and just be sort of like, sort of take her by the hands, and if she's willing, and just basically say, "We got them. It's over. We're done."
Fucking finally.
And then I feel like there's this probably very prolonged period of just sort of breaking down and hugging over a long period of time that might happen once we get into private.
Yeah.
And well, I mean, once we get off the side of the mountain or whatever, once we're finished doing whatever we got to do immediately there, and I think it'll just be, Cole will probably tease Lee about the amount of paperwork that she's going to have to do when she gets back, but unless
paperwork.
Yeah. Of course, there's always freelancing, spots always open if you want it.
It's true. It's true.
Seems to be working out pretty well. Thank you for not giving up on me. I should actually thank everybody for that, but I thank you the most because, well,
Rita held your head together, sir.
That's true, yes. Everybody has to thank everybody. Yeah. I'm going to have to actually keep doing this thing and interacting with people. I'm kind of starting to like it. Is that a bad sign?
Oh, no.
Sorry, Rekmara's like there, sort of like. He's there in the same way like Drax was in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Just Fritz style pops out of an event like, yeah, people.
Yeah. It certainly isn't a good thing. And then he just eats a chip.
Cole just smiles. I think everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, it will.
And that's really all I've got. I don't have... Cole's future is whatever the next job is. That's basically how he rolls.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm still waiting to hear how Rekmara takes over the universe.
Well, Rekmara took some time to poke through and collect anything of value or interest to him from that lair. But on his way out, he's actually going to scoop up what dusty remains are of the dragon and put them in a nice little pouch. And he's going to visit the archdruid.
Okay.
And just drop the pouch onto the table in front of her. Just mention, I'm probably owed a promotion. And and then flash forward a little bit, he is actually going to be accompanying Lasness to that mining planet thing.
Okay.
But as it fades away, you sort of see his see the image of the obelisk just floating around in space, and you just see a ghostly visage of Rekmara behind it. And that's it.
Okay.
I feel like that would be the after credits.
Right.
I thought the after credits was us sitting around eating shawarma.
How many after credit scenes can we cram in there?
Yeah,
I'd like to
Many a
talk
good
to you about the Sepulchre Initiative.
feel like that's a flashback scene. So,
Wow.
it's a wrap.
I think we all need to just give an applause to our station master. Fantastic job.
Tons of work in there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for all this. This is a crazy amount of work. Alyssa put a crazy amount of work into this, to the point that it branched off multiple other shows, and that it was just wonderful. And we ended up through so many times having to, real life kept interfering, and giving Alyssa more and more time to to plot evil, which she put to excellent use, and was always insistent on having everyone together, and it held, and that was a beautiful thing. And it's actually one thing I love about this group, is how well it held together. I really appreciate that. It's because it's very hard to find a group of people that you will be able to consistently game with, in the face of the world exploding, which it kind of did, and this has been an absolute joy. But I think that we're gonna go ahead then, if we're good for it. We're gonna. We can always, if need be, do additional debriefing in the in the after. But we're gonna go ahead and I think go around and say our final piece on this this arc, this story arc. This may be it. We don't know. There may be stuff in the future. We want to keep doing stuff, but we're going to take a little break, and then we're going to come back, and then we'll do something. Could be more of this. Could be more of this with a different system. Could be something else. We don't know. But we are finally going to get to rest for a little while. If anyone has, feel free to. Once again, tell folks where they can find you, and give any final thoughts you have about this session or this campaign, or any favorite moments or anything you want to. Basically, whatever you want to say, I'm good. We will start, as always, with our station master, Alyssa.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you all for playing. Thank you, Jim, for letting me commandeer your channel on Sundays for the past year and a half almost. And thank you to my dad for watching religiously since the beginning of the campaign. It has been a wonderful journey. I feel like I have grown so much as a game master. And there's so much to this story and so much more to this universe that the player characters have only sort of vaguely touched on, because I every time we had a break, I just kept planning for like contingencies. If they go here, this is what lives there. So yeah, I have had such a wonderful time watching everything play out, and I loved being able to bring Narita to a place where she could find Poseidon's solution, and just giving Cole closure from what started as a vaguely general grudge against the military and why he left, and me pulling all these puzzle pieces together and everything clicking into place, and going, hey, Jim, I think I know what happened on Chiron. And having all the secret communiques with Fritz and where they all are and what they're all doing, and being able to pull them in even on the spin-off shows and bring everything back together, and giving Lasness, that little extra magical boost. And then when Rekamara went to heal the dragon, and I know what feature he has taken since he's turned his back on the sun, and I know what's coming, and I was just so excited to see you finally get to use that. It was so much fun. And you can find me on Twitch and Twitter at Origami Shuriken. And hopefully I will have another game coming up soon. And hopefully I'll be running some more games soon. But we're gonna take a long rest. Not as long as the one we took over the summer, hopefully, but it's not the last you've seen of the Station Master.
Yay! Awesome. And now let us head over to Mem.
Hey. This is my first campaign. So thank you all. It's been a great time, a great year. I say it like we'll never come back. We'll be back. But it was such an adventure, and I was like, I have no idea what's happening, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do exactly. And it was nice to be able to just kind of have room to just not know what I was doing and everyone help. And it definitely has made me more comfortable with role playing and things. And I could hear my voice as I hear the video and I don't like it, or the stream. We turn that off. And this has been a great time. And it was fun just kind of getting into the universe and into all of our characters' lives. It was fun to kind of put little pieces of my actual personality into Narita and be all weird about Lee and Cole. And try to matchmake the lady at the menagerie. It was just fun, and just to pester the person who liked me the least, aka Rekamara. So it was good. It was different. I loved it. I'll be sad if we don't come back to this, but whatever we do, can't wait to do it with you all. Had a great time. Well, as we have our long rest, there won't be many other opportunities to see me because this is where I usually am. But I guess, actually, that's wrong. For the next 3 Saturdays, I'll be on Leave the Tail, doing a short run of Tachyon Squadron with Trooper. I'm very excited. But until we come back, that'll probably be it, and you just won't see me until we're back. So that'll be that.
Awesome. That's going to be fun. It's yeah. We knew that was coming up, and Trooper was going to be running that one also. So it is a great experience getting to play under Trooper. So I highly recommend it. So
our session 0 is yesterday, and it was amazing.
Excellent. Good. Very cool. Awesome. And now we will go over to May.
Hi, everybody. My name is May. I do have a Twitter. I don't use it that much. I also have a Twitch, which I use even less. You can mostly find me here. I can't tell you all how grateful I am to this. I have never completed a campaign, and I have never been given so much latitude with a character. When I have played campaigns, I felt free, and I got to be as silly as I wanted to be, which I sometimes think might have exceeded everyone else's silliness levels. But I am so grateful to you all. I'm so thankful to you all. I can't wait till we play again. Everybody saw my yearbook. I hope we do come back, and we come back together, and we can have some more laughs together. So thank you all.
Yay. I have to say that the Star Dwarf paladin concept, or just the concept of Lasna specifically, when Yes, I hear you.
Sorry.
I hear you.
I'm so sorry. Shipping's terrible.
Yeah.
I was like,
The
yes.
space cat has spoken to us.
I'm sorry, y'all.
Oh no, it's great. It's great. It's wonderful. It was one of those things where it's like I had to think for a second. Okay, well, I've got to do a quick shift on the genre in my mind for a moment. But I swear the more over the top things got with Lasnus, as Lasnus got more and more powerful, it's just the better and better it got. It was just wonderful to watch. But it was very good. It was so good.
It was a joy and an honor.
And we'll go over to Cazimi.
Well, Al, like many others here, this is kind of where I am. I don't have much of a Twitch or Twitter presence otherwise. It has been really nice to get back to a campaign and a regular game and roots, and I've done this a lot in my lifetime, but I've not done it online or on Twitch, so I'm kind of the flip side of the coin for some other folks here who've maybe done more streaming and online gaming, but not as much, in terms of like years-long campaigns with the same group of people and things like this. So it's nice to get my feet back into that again. And it's I think everybody understands what a hard last 15 months this has been. And this has been very much a sanity saver for me. And I think for all of us to have something to kind of ground into during the week and to lean on as that's going on. And I know that we'll all be looking forward to whatever the next variant is that we use to touch base regularly and do this. It's been so much fun to listen to everyone's stories kind of evolve out of what was created so beautifully by our station master, who did an incredible amount of work, jamming two things together and making it her own. And then just all of the spin-offs that she's been able to create out of some of the goofy stuff that we've come up with off the top of our heads. And really just as the game has gone along and we've said, well, what about this? Well, what about that? What if I take this character and do this thing and whatever. And we've all been able to roll with that really, really well. And it's created an amazing amount of fun throughout this entire campaign. But I love the way that it's created all these other little spin-off things, and it's created kind of a life of its own. And I'm curious to see, and I will continue to love to see, where the Lasnuses and the obelisks and the, solution and just like where all of this, the rest of this world is going to go and how many other places, there's going to be a Fritz. The fact that there are Fritzes in many places now, part that it's a nice thing. And I'm looking forward to what the next iteration is. So it's good to see everybody.
I too look forward to seeing how many planets join the Fritz franchise. The
Fritz Federation.
Yes, that was wonderful. That was great. And of course, I'm also remembering that the one little story point that we never got back to is that there's still this very large sea animal that's living inside of our ship somewhere. That we still don't know about, most of us. And so
That's right, Mr. Roach Lobster thing.
Yeah, one of the Fritzes is dealing with him.
Fritz.
it's just interesting leaving that dangling.
Yep.
Between the giant space roach and the Encyclopedia Multiplanaria, you are able to piece together some information about the planet Rast, which is the planet of origin of the roaches. And the discovery of said planet and said roaches and the dispute over that newly discovered territory between the human hegemony and the elves is what sparked the first Rift War.
Oh.
That created the first of the dead magic zones.
Mm.
So that planet is still out there somewhere.
And it's likely that the gnomes know something about it.
It is, indeed.
Interesting. Very cool. If you had did you have anything else you wanted to say before we close up? All right. Well, we're over to Anino.
Hey everyone, my name's Anino. You can find me on Twitter at Anino Gaming. The number of other games that I'm in, you can catch me on Fridays over on the Wandering DM channel, Fridays and Saturdays for 2 campaigns. One is Cyberpunk Red, and the other is Scion. And there's going to be one coming up soon. Waiting for that to be announced. Looking really forward to that too. So yeah, I had organized this campaign after the Dresden Files one, just because the Dresden Files one was super fun. You know, there were a lot of reasons why I did this. I wanted to, one, give Alyssa an opportunity to GM a game on a stream and get some practice in, because until this one started, she was only doing one shots. I know May had a great time on the Dresden Files campaign, and always wanted to play in more TTRPGs, as did Cazimi. Another one is I wanted to get more content onto Jim's channel without Jim having to DM a game.
God, thank you so much. Oh God.
So I figured that it was almost criminal that he doesn't get to just play on his own channel. So that, and then I wanted to bring Memon into the TTRPG streaming thing, where she doesn't have to do her own stream, all the production and stuff, and where she can just let her talents and presence just have fun. And so this was sort of just ran to accomplish a number of things, and I'm glad it went the way it did. Such this character was kind of a departure for me. I created him because I backfilled. I know the team needed a healer, and but I kind of wanted to play a healer that was part kind of like House in a sense, but also be. But then when I saw the whole story arc behind the obelisk and the circle of the obelisk, I thought that what if we crossed Mr. Sinister with House? And I always thought it was tricky because I've never really played a bad guy or someone with a more evil leaning alignment before. And so so this was a way for me to experiment with that and be able to do that. And I'm glad that everybody played along with it in a good-natured sort of way, because I didn't really want to intend any malice behind it. Plus, I just wanted to see if I could play a character who was a little darker, but not emo-y, if that makes sense. We left all of that to Cole.
Yeah.
So, thank you, everyone. It was great interacting with everyone as this character, and it went in a lot of places that I didn't really expect. So it was really good to do that and play a system where I could have a little more fun with the mechanics and such. And so, yeah, that's it.
Awesome. And I think really Anino did a phenomenal amount of heavy lifting in getting this whole thing together and keeping it together. And we all very much owe him a debt of thanks for that. It was amazing, and I thank you so much for bringing this to us, because it was just glorious. Please, for goodness sakes, go forth and watch these other shows that Anino is on, because it is always entertaining. I hate that my schedule is all over the place. I only get to see snatches of them, but the stuff that I've seen, it's just consistently awesome. So please go forth and see these things. It was really, really great. Just down to not only coordinating us through through getting this together and then actually commissioning the art, which we shall, I feel at this time, and for the one time once more bow our heads in thanks to Jade Nebula for providing us with this art, this character art, and it was wonderful. And also, I mean, and that's the thing is that Anino also is the one who suggested the new way of doing the captions that we did, and has been keeping very much his ear to the ground about pretty much how everything and how to and the whole the how and the why of all of this. And so I very much appreciate it. It's because it. Had I not had this game consistently going on, there was a patch for me when I was not doing much streaming a few months ago, and this kept me in it, and I really appreciate it. But I think when it comes down to, for me, I'm just I'm thankful everyone was patient with my with the emo-ness of Cole.
Loved it.
I loved it. Are you serious?
And I'm thankful.
It was the humanity. Isn't that what humans do?
Apparently, yeah. That's
Humany woomany.
yeah. I mean, everyone is people, but yeah, I'm very thankful that especially also for Alyssa's patience and also very kindly letting me romance one of the NPCs, and because I'm still not very skilled at that. I'm still very new at that whole thing, but I very much appreciate it, and it was really nice. It was really good, and just the whole thing. I loved this whole thing, and while I am sad we have come to a halt at this point, I am still very happy that we got to do it beginning to end, and I also cannot wait to see what happens next with whatever it is we decide to do, and whenever that is, we will let you know. But in the meantime, let's see. I'm Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is jim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I have links down below to my various media. On Tuesday nights, when we're all available, I am running a short campaign of Urban Shadows. The campaign is called Lex Talionis, and it is set in present-day Rome. I say short campaign, it's actually been extending out for a while now, though not in terms of number of sessions, but mostly because real life keeps interfering and we keep not getting to play. But we're getting there. We're slowly but surely moving ahead. We're about halfway through right now. And it's always fun getting to see what happens when we integrate the traditional urban fantasy stuff of vampires, werewolves, fae, and mages and all that with, Roman gods. And various mythological figures. So it's very cool getting to dip our toes in that. So that's on Tuesday nights, and that's the only consistent thing currently on the channel. There will be around the end of the month. We'll be starting on Wednesday nights a game of Scum and Villainy. Brian will be coming back to run that. Brian, who ran the Sprawl for us last year. Which was so much fun. Brian ran a one-shot of Scum and Villainy on this channel at one point. So we're going to actually get to do a nice short campaign of it. He wants to sort of do some stuff with. We finally got our cast together, and we're now in the process of scheduling. So we don't know. I don't know the exact dates yet as to when it's gonna kick off, but like around the end of the month, end of this month, beginning of next month, is roughly where it's gonna happen. So please look out for that in the near future. And as for me personally, I'm on a podcast that is on an actual play podcast that is releasing episodes right now. The podcast is called Tabletop Garden, and it does campaigns one after the other. The campaign that is being released right now is The Great Molasses Flood. which is set in 1919 in Boston. And it is sort of a weird historical tale because there is an element of science fiction that's been thrown in. But it is about the event, the Great Molasses Flood, which was actually a monstrous tragedy that happened at that point, and we are trying to do things to alter it at this point. So you can go find that at tabletop.garden if you want to listen to that. That uses the Rosette Diceless system, which was a thing we also did, like it was a short campaign of here that Melissa came and ran for us, one of the creators of the Rosette Diceless system. And it was a lot of fun, that campaign. So feel free to go and check that out as well. So, when we hit the end card, you see the funny thing about streaming at this time of day is that I look over to this monitor on my left, which is basically my TV set, where I've put the different where I've put our stream so that I can see that we're still streaming. And the sun is covering up everyone else who's streaming right now. So we're probably going to raid somebody in a moment, but I'm not completely sure who. I'm just going to move this window around just a bit here. Ah, there it is. Okay. So yeah, there are a few places that have some stuff going. So we'll probably end up diving toward one of them and see if we want to go big. We have Enthusiamy. There's the Saving Throw Show. Goodman Games apparently is doing something. Catherine Lynn. We haven't actually rated Catherine Lynn in a little while, and that is the added bonus of rating a person who might actually remember who I am. So there's that possibility. So we'll see. We're going to probably raid one of those people in just a moment. So if you are so inclined, feel free to hang on and say hi to them with us. That will be when we hit the end card. I really appreciate everyone who has stuck with us for this campaign, every one of you in the audience. There's been a lot of love for this show that folks have expressed, and I really appreciate it. I see it and I appreciate it. We had gift subs today. We've had many a gift sub quite recently, and thank you very much for that. He says to Mem and to other folks as well. But I very much appreciate it. As this is basically, I am as I do this very aggressively an amateur, and I wish to stay an amateur at this stream production for as long as I possibly can, because doing it as a profession is just something I don't want to go into at this point. But I do love being able to do it. So thank you all very much for being here and watching. And with that, we must bid you adieu. Take care, folks. We will see you all of a sudden.